Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and coming up live on today's show, Rich Eisen believes in the Las Vegas Raiders. And you know what, Rich? I believe in the Las Vegas Raiders, too. I'm going to tell you why they are a legit sleeper team in 2025. And if you didn't see the video that I dropped earlier on the Raiders Report today, it was about some of the off-season winners, where I had them ranked from 10 all the way down to 1. I think when you do this as a job, just like when you talk to your friends and family, sometimes you got to deliver some good news, and sometimes you got to deliver a little bit of the bad news. We are also going to break down some of the top 10 off-season losers for this Pete Carroll and John Spytek regime. And you know what? I want to do a duck race today. It's going to be a $20 duck race. So if you want to get in, $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. I'll tell you what deals I got here in just a moment. But first, I want to know down below, how many games do y'all think that the Raiders are going to win this season? And the reason why I'm asking this question is because when you look at the very first segment that I got coming up here, which is probably about 15, 20 minutes from now, Eisen talks about the Raiders being a sleeper team. To me, I know what the expectation is from the outside world around the silver and black. And if you're going to sit up here and go, hey, it's a 5-6 win team, that ain't a sleeper team. If you believe that this regime could go on and win 9, 10 games, I think that that's a sleeper team. But when you look at the Raiders in the AFC West, brand new quarterback, brand new regime from top to bottom, I can absolutely see in this team being a sleeper team. What up, Venom Sosa? I see you down there in the comments, 13. Did I see my guy Patrick B. Mount Raider more about, 30 seconds ago in the chat? What up, Patrick B? Rebel Montana in this biz. What up, Gary Backus? Appreciate you tuning in. Jose Morales, Devil J, Venom Sosa, Raider Rob, 1969 is going to go with the 10. Backus going to go with the 10. Garcia says, I'm here. Jeff, I never really get the opportunity to say this as often as I want to, but you, dude, are always a part of the Noti gang, and I hope that you know I always see your avatar. It's a Georgia helmet. Let's get a Raiders one. But I always appreciate you, Jeff. I want you to know that. Blaine Craig, Mickey Camacho, Mickey, can't you see? Hope that you know you hypnotized me. What up, Raider Nation 80? I'm seeing a lot of 10s down below. And for me personally, if I was a betting man, I already said that I believe that this Las Vegas Raiders team wins 9 games this year. But that being said means if we go out and we added Justin Simmons, if we added Julian Blackmon, I do still believe that this team can get better, and I could see us by going out and getting, a free safety, maybe add a Jadeveon Clowney. Does that give you an extra win or two? It's also the National Football League, right, where you can beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Or a great example, you can lose to the Minnesota Vikings 3-0, and 4 days later beat the Chargers 63-21.
Oh, yeah.
Anything could possibly happen.
And if you've been following our Madden Sims, the Raiders are 10-3-1.
I don't know what I would have to do. I told you this a few weeks ago. I'm dead ass. My wife would kill me. I would shave my head. I would shave every ounce of hair that I have on my body for 10-3-1.
I mean,
I'm not kidding you. I would.
My off-season prediction was 10-6-1 for the Raiders this season. So
I know I'm not the only one.
They are on track to at least supersede that, if not be exactly 10-6-1 on the Madden season.
Oh, so now I know. Now your whole plan is.
I didn't do anything. That's just what Madden chooses. I'm just the messenger.
Yeah.
I'm the what's his name? It's the Greek god of messaging.
You're asking the wrong guy. Samsung?
You know? Hermes.
I don't know.
Greek god of messages.
I don't think that's it. I'm going to be honest. Yeah. Raider Rob, by the way, Jurassic World was good.
I'll look it up. Wait.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this right now. I love Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. I am a huge dinosaur buff, no doubt about it. Now, here's what we got. We got 250 people in the building right now.
Oh, yeah. Hermes is a major Olympian god in Greek mythology, known as the messenger of the gods and protector of travelers, merchants, and thieves. So, yes, he's the messenger god.
See, you learn something new every day on the Raiders Report. That's why you hit that subscribe
Cameron,
button.
Nope. If that person is giving you a message, you are in big trouble. Hermes.
Yeah, that's
not herpes.
That's not the messenger you're looking for.
Yeah, that's a bad message.
Absolutely. Let's get into some of the deals that we have here on today's show. First off is this. Every 100 likes, we're going to give away a free fantasy football raffle ticket. Reminder, July 31st, we're going to announce 2 more people that are going to be getting in our fantasy football raffle. If you want to submit a question, hashtag Raiders or Super Chat, just keep in mind, if you submit a $5 Super Chat question, it could be about anything Raiders, you're going to get a raffle ticket to get a chance to get in. Rebel Montana, he was the one that ended up getting a raffle ticket, and he's ended up getting in. Again, $20 Venmo to get in the duck race. Every hundo is a bang. And since today is going to be a little bit of a different day, because I know a lot of people are excited for our interview this Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, with Raiders rookie Dante Thornton Jr. I was talking with him earlier today. I was also talking with his agent. They're super fired up to join the program, and I mean this. I hope the nation shows up. I hope the nation shows Dante Thornton Jr. how we get down, and I hope that you guys are showing him nothing but love tomorrow. I also know this. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to try to get questions to Dante. And because so many questions always come in, I don't want people to feel a type of way if, I don't get the opportunity to give Dante the question. So today what I'm going to do is this. Whoever the top 2 bangers are, whoever bangs the most today on the Raiders Report, I'm going to contact you, or I'm going to ask you here on the live show, and you're going to tell me what you want me to ask Raiders rookie Dante Thornton Jr. on Thursday.
And, I'm going to throw you a curveball. I'm going to add one more thing into this, Mitch. I'm going to say this. $2 or $5 Super Chat, whatever you need to ask your question, we're going to pick one $2/$5 Super Chat with the best question.
Okay, I'm in.
Whatever the best question that comes in, because like we said, on Thursday, he can only stay for 30 minutes. Mitch already has a set of questions that he's going to prepare for Dante Thornton Jr. We're going to ask him a couple questions from today, and we'll try to get to some live questions, but it's a little difficult because it's one of those things where it's like you have a carload of kids. You give one of them ice cream, the other one's going to be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard because
we get ice cream.
There's no way we can get every single person's question in there.
Yep.
But we wanted to give y'all an opportunity because there's going to be a lot of new people that just show up on the day of Dante Thornton Jr.
And look, like I said, I want to give an opportunity to a real one, somebody that's showing up on a Tuesday where, I'll be real, there's really nothing going on amongst the nation. There's not really any Raiders news. There's not really any Raiders rumors. But I still want to be able to come up here, chop it up, talk with y'all because that's what I like to do. But if you're watching this show, I want to give you an opportunity to ask Dante Thornton Jr. a question. And then once the interview starts on Thursday, it's a very smooth process. I'll also say this. If you do end up sending in a bang during Dante Thornton's interview, depending on what you say, I'll put it up on screen. I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. So this is an easy way for me to say, hey, if you want to ask Dante Thornton a question, you can submit it today, and that way we have everything ready to rock and roll for Thursday for the interview, which gives more opportunities for him to answer more questions, which I think is the most important thing. I want him answering as many questions as humanly possible with a smile on his face.
Either one, be one of the top bangers on today's show.
Facts.
Number 2, a $2 or $5 Super Chat. If you send a 5, it's a double whammy because you get a fantasy football raffle ticket.
True.
And we'll pick the best question from those Super Chats to ask Dante Thornton Jr.
Love it. I love it. I also love that Richard Black is the first person that I am seeing getting in our duck race today, which, again, I absolutely positively love. Richard Black, shout out to you for getting in. If you want to join them, $20 Venmo, Mitchell Renz 365. You can scan that QR code, or you can just add me as a friend at Mitchell Renz 365. Let's go to another question here that I'm going to be talking a lot about Jack Besh and Dante Thornton Jr. today, and obviously on Thursday as well. I expect a lot from both of these players, and I think that their impact on the team can be measured in many different ways. So I want to know from all of you down below, do you think the TCU receiver that was drafted in round 2, Jack Besh, type 18, if he's going to make a bigger impact, or do you think it's going to be the 4th-round rookie from Tennessee, Dante Thornton Jr.? I want you to type 10. And if you haven't, please go vote at the live poll at the very top of the show, which right now, 60% of the votes are going for Dante Thornton Jr. The bigger impact this year, and I picked that word for a reason, because I'll be real, I do actually think that Jack Besh has more receptions than Thornton this season. I think that Jack Besh has more receiving yards this season than Thornton. I'll tell you this, it's going to be extremely, extremely close. But I might say Dante Thornton Jr. here because of his ability to be an elite decoy. Not that Besh can't be a decoy, but to me, if at the end of the game we're looking at when Besh is on the field and Thornton's on the field, Ashton Genty's averaging 4.3 yards with Besh, but he's averaging 5.0 with Thornton. To me, yes, maybe Besh has more receiving yards and receptions, but I'd make the argument that Thornton was the bigger impact overall player. I'll tell you this. I think these are two young, really talented players that have a great head on their shoulders, and they're going to be a part of this organization for a long time. And I'll stand 10 toes on that. What up, Cameron Sproul? I see your super chat coming in. Appreciate you getting those questions in. And yes, you are in the fantasy football raffle. Mitch, do we have enough to win our division, or do we still need a piece or two, and name a couple that might help us? In the NFL, anything is possible. The only reason why I'm going to say right now, no, I don't think the Raiders are good enough to win the AFC West is simply because of the back end of our defense. Like, if we were in a lot of other divisions, I could sit up here and say yes. Like, if we were in the AFC South, do I think that the Raiders could take down the Titans, the Jags, the Texans? Yes, I do. I do. Colts. But when you're going up against three other teams that made the playoffs and head coaches galore of Andy Reid, Sean Payton, and Harbaugh, those are all winning head coaches. I do think that the Chargers and Broncos, obviously we can pass by those guys, but the Kansas City Chiefs have been so dominant for such a long time that I would be lying to say that we can beat them and be the AFC West champs. Like, can we beat them on any given Sunday? Abso-flippin-lutely. The Raiders this year, which maybe not the case in years past, they can beat any team any given day, and it's not going to matter. And I do truly, truly believe that. But to say that we're going to win the AFC West, I'll go no. If you told me that we go out and we add a Jadeveon Clowney, a Justin Simmons, but most importantly, somebody in that back end as a free safety, then I'm going to feel a lot better about the chances of us winning the AFC West. But to me, all we got to do is get in, because the brand of football that John Spytek and Pete Carroll are trying to implement with Ashton Genty, it's that FU style of football. It's that FU, I want to ground and pound, kind of like what Philadelphia has done over the past few seasons, and that's a really difficult football game plan to go up against, especially in December, especially in January. Fingers crossed for February. Let's go to Bruce Bird, Raider Nation for life. Bruce, we're going to give you 4 raffle tickets. Thank you so much for tuning in, Bruce. I know you're an OG watcher, and I'll say this. It's been pretty cool today to see some of old faces that I haven't seen as much in the offseason, and I get it. It's the offseason, but still, it's always cool to see when people come back, show a little bit of love here on the Raiders Report. So I'm going to refresh my phone. I'm going to see if anybody else got in this duck race, and I do see a few extra people got in. Gary Backus, Victor Lobos, and then my guy, L.A. Crash Dog, are all in the duck race. $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. And again, friendly reminder, the top 2 bangers today get to ask Dante Thornton Jr. a question on Thursday. So I just want to be able to put that out there. Like right now, if you were to bang, you'd be the one that I'd pick. So just throwing that out there. Just want all y'all to know. Miggy, appreciate you, dude. He says, let's get this thing going. All right, I'm down to get it going. Coming up here, I'm going to talk about Rich Eisen, and I got a full segment about Eisen calling the Raiders a sleeper team, and that fires me up a little bit. And I get it. It's the offseason. There's not a lot of stuff going on, but I'm going to be somebody where even if there's not a lot of stuff going on, I want to be able to sit up here and talk about the Las Vegas Raiders, which I hope is what you guys see end up going down today. I'll also say I'm not sick. I don't know if it's allergies or what the hell's going on with me, but I sound a little bit weird. I know. I can tell that I do.
Mitch is the classic I'm not sick guy. Anything to convince himself that he's not sick. I feel like
if I'm at home though with Alex,
I feel like Mitch saying that he's not sick is like him being like, "Oh yeah, like I'm definitely not sick." Like if I say that I'm not sick,
there's different levels of sick. Like to me, being sick means I can't come to work. Like I don't feel well, but I'm not sick.
It's like the are you hurt or injured?
I love that one.
If you're hurt, you can play.
Yep.
If you're injured, you're out.
Exactly.
You're hurt right now.
I'm hurting a little bit, but I'll say this: I don't have any PTO days, so we gotta get through it. I gotta get to the honeymoon. We gotta get through it.
You're like
people said raw garlic. I tried raw garlic yesterday. I took a hot shower. I had some lemon, had some honey. I tried. My problem is my nose is very sensitive, and probably in the last 24 hours, I've had 6 bloody noses. A lot of blood. Dude, Alex last night, I didn't know it happened. So last night when I was in the shower, I was washing my face, and Alex, popped her head in, and she was like, oh my God. But obviously, I couldn't see it because my eyes were closed and I was washing my face. And while I was washing my face, I had a bloody nose. So I didn't know it. I'm literally rubbing blood all over my face.
Oh, it's good for your pores.
Is it?
I have no clue.
I mean, honestly, I'd believe you.
I feel like anybody
she does something where there's they poke her face and there's blood on her face.
I feel like every other day, they could tell you some ridiculous thing that you put on your body or your face, and they're like, "Oh no, that's good for your pores." If I walked into the,
I do tell her one thing is good for her pores.
If I walked into the kitchen, and Chase was smearing sour cream on his nose and was like, "No, it's good for your pores," I'd be like, "I kind of believe you."
Well, there's certain people that I would believe. No disrespect to Coop. If Coop's rubbing sour cream on his face, I'd be like, "That's not sunscreen." That's not what you think it is.
Chase is like, these are actually, papaya seeds that I blended up.
Rub it in. I also heard it tastes like pineapple. All right, y'all. Coming up here on today's show, we're going to get
one more super chat.
One more super? Love it. Robert, how do you say that last name?
LaCroix.
Is that like the water? Guys, do you see Dante Thornton Jr. taking Tucker's job right out of the gate, or maybe mid-season? I like this question a lot. I don't really think that he is going to take the job. Quite frankly, I would say the way that Dante Thornton Jr. takes Trey Tucker's job is if Jack Besh ends up being more consistent and more reliable than both of them. I do think Tucker and Thornton's upside is higher than Besh's. But I also think that Jack Besh's floor is a lot safer than Trey Tucker and Dante Thornton Jr. If you're looking for a field stretcher, sure, that could absolutely happen. But I know that they've been very, very impressed by Tucker. I would say right now that you're looking at number one's Jacoby, and then your top 2 outside guys are Trey Tucker and Dante Thornton Jr. And Besh isn't going to be somebody that plays on the outside. Definitely more of a slot receiver. But at this current point, I think the Raiders are going to try to beat you in so many different ways. Who's the top target getter? Does Dante Thornton Jr. get more targets than Michael Mayer? That's kind of an interesting question to me. And I would say right now as it stands, Trey Tucker, Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers are the top 3 target getters from a reception
King Hobbs says W, Chase Sr.
It's a big win, man. It's a big win. All right, y'all, let's get into the very first segment here on the Raiders Report. And yes, again, $20 Venmo. You get in right now for a shot to win $40. It's going to be at the very, very end of today's show. So we have 2 segments. We'll do those 2 segments, and then we will do the duck race. And then Chuggs and I will hop on out of here. The next time that you will see us live is going to be Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern time, when we are live on this show with Raiders rookie Dante Thornton Jr. How much life does that thing have? I want y'all to say it with your chest, or at least a thumbs up. If you believe that the entire NFL, that the world is sleeping on the Raiders, I want you to hit that like button right now, because I'll tell you this, I do think with Pete Carroll, with this brand new regime, with everything that this organization has done, I think we have to look at what the picture that they're painting is, because it definitely looks like a much different picture than what we've seen in the past. I believe in this Las Vegas Raiders team, and I do think that the NFL is absolutely sleeping on them. And guess what? Good news for everybody out there, because the Raiders were listed as a sleeper team by Rich Eisen. I think Rich Eisen is one of the best in the biz at doing what he does, and I do think that he's a little bit of a Raiders fan here. I'll say this. I know that Eisen had the Raiders as a sleeper team last year, but he had them as number 5 in his top 5. This year, he's got the Raiders at number 2, and the reason why that I think that, that's kind of interesting, the number 2 team on Rich Eisen's sleepers team last year, the Washington Commanders, the team that drafted a brand new quarterback, a team that had a brand new regime from top to bottom, and a team that went all the way to the NFC Championship game, and a team that I honestly think that the Raiders are really trying to model what Washington did, and I hope that we have just as much success. So coming up here on today's show, I'm going to sit up here and I'm going to tell you why I agree with Rich Eisen. I'll just give him a little pat on the head because I agree with this. And I'm going to be breaking down why Las Vegas is a legit sleeper team from top to bottom. The first reason is this, and, I wanted to put this note in there, but I do think it deserves to be put in there. The Raiders are a sleeper team because nobody thinks that they can win. Now, I think that they can win some games, but I think if you were to ask non-Raiders fans, is this a playoff caliber team? They're probably going to tell you no. Is this a team that can compete for the AFC West? They're probably going to tell you no. But you know what? I don't mind being doubted, and you can't really blame people for having that thought process, right? Right now as it stands, Vegas has the Raiders win total set at 6.5 games. 6.5 games doesn't sound like a team that's going to have a lot of success. I'm going to take the over on that every single day of the week. The Raiders are projected to finish last in the AFC West, which they're projected to finish last in the AFC West every single year. They went 0-6 in the West. I know, I don't want to remind you, but it's the truth last year. And they have the plus 10,000 odds to win the Super Bowl. 26 best odds. You can't call the Kansas City Chiefs a sleeper team because everybody believes in them. Teams that are sleeper teams come up out of nowhere. And here's another thing that I wanted to say. When you talk about just why they deserve to be slept on, last playoff win was January 19th, 2003. Last AFC West title, 2002. Second most losses, 228 frickin' flippin' losses since 2003, trailing only the Cleveland Browns. I know that this has been a very frustrating franchise to follow. I totally get it. But I hope that people, when they look at what this organization and regime is doing, they say, we're doing things differently, and we're building this thing the right way, and that's why I do really believe that this team is going to shock some people. Let's go to another reason here of why I believe in the Raiders to be a sleeper team. Let's talk about the coaching staff. Let's talk about the front office from top to bottom. The front office that the Raiders were able to put together this year, led by John Spytek, I love it. Think about also, they go out and they get a guy like Brian Stark. You go out and get a guy like Anthony Patch, stealing people who have been working underneath dudes like Howie Roseman, Omar Khan, very well-respected front office members in the National Football League, which is going to help out our draft. Then you talk about the coaching staff. Pete Carroll has won a national championship. He's won a Super Bowl. And from top to bottom, I know that Tom Brady, Pete Carroll, John Spytek know not only what it takes to win a Super Bowl, but to how to build a Super Bowl caliber team, and it does. It starts from the janitor, it goes to your quarterback, and it goes all the way up to your front office to the owner and Mark Davis. I think then you look at the coordinators that we have. Patrick Graham and Chip Kelly is the best OCDC that the Las Vegas Raiders have had probably in 20 flipping years, and I'm not afraid to say it. Then you also talk about the quarterback coach and Greg Olson, very, very well-respected coach. This coaching staff and front office is so diverse with tons of NFL experience, tons of college football experience, and when you blend all of that together, I think it's going to create something really special. So you know what? I think of the Raiders Fab Five as this Fab Five. You got minority owner Tom Brady, head coach Pete Carroll, general manager John Spytek, new OC Chip Kelly, and returning defensive coordinator Patrick Graham. Based on these 5 people and these 5 people alone, what is your confidence level in this group? And I want you to scale it for me from 1 to 10. This is going to be the pinned comment here on today's show, so you're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break. While that ad is playing, I want you to scroll on down, give me your answer. My answer coming up here in just a moment. You can say I'm just a diehard Raiders fan if you want, but it's a 10. And I'm not saying that the Raiders are going to be this Super Bowl winning team right away, but I believe in Tom Brady, the guy that's won more Super Bowls than literally anybody, and he's won it with John Spytek. John Spytek has been able to build something very, very special in Tampa Bay, and I hope that he's bringing it to Las Vegas. Chip Kelly just won a national championship as an OC. Patrick Graham, one of the most criminally underrated defensive coordinators, was getting some head coaching opportunities this past year. From top to bottom, Pete Carroll, I love, and I mean this, I love what the Las Vegas Raiders have done this entire offseason. Coming up here next, though, I got more reasons why I agree with Rich Eisen. And I got more reasons why I do think that the Raiders are a legitimate sleeper team. Because you can be a sleeper team that wins 7 or 8 games. But I think if you're a legitimate sleeper team, you're trying to get in that 9, 10, 11 win range and try to go out and win a playoff game. Before I break all that down, though, today's show sponsor, I absolutely love them. It's Chubbies. And I just tell you this right now. These deals are so good, and Chubby shorts are so good. that they're going to make your chubbies look really nice. Go to chubbyshorts.com/chat, 20% off your first purchase. Let's face it, y'all. Summer's here, which means it's officially time to let the dogs out. And by dogs, we mean your legs. If your pups have been stuck in jeans or sweats for the last few months, set them free with the Line Swim collection from Chubbies. Whether you're poolside, lakeside, or oceanside on that long-awaited vacation, these trunks are ready to travel. Life's too short for uncomfortable swim trunks. So these babies are set up for all-day comfort, which a quick, dry stretch fabric and a built-in liner that actually does its job. No more chafing, no more soggy butt, no more mesh disasters. And when the sun goes down, you're heading from the beach to dinner, swap into a pair of everywhere shorts. They fit right, feel right, and go with everything. And after wearing them once, you'll find yourself wondering why you even own other shorts. Whether you're suiting up for cannonballs, cookouts, or casual Fridays, or who knows, maybe a Raiders Sport Tuesday show, Chubbies has you covered. And for a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners 20% off your order with our code CHAT at chubbyshorts.com. That is code CHAT at chubbyshorts.com. Support our show. Tell them that we sent you. Summer's here. Dress like it. I have my honeymoon coming up right around the corner, and I'm really excited to be able to wear some of my Chubby shorts during my honeymoon. I'll also tell you this. I have a Star Stripes American flag branded Chubby swim trunks. I was wearing them this past weekend, and it's amazing to me how flexible that I'm able to move. And I only say that because my dog Chuck was swimming in a pond, and I had to go in and get him one time. But, like, you know, when you're actually able to move around in some swim trunks and they fit you right, you look good, you feel good, and you're going to get that exact same thing from Chubbies. Also, the people that own Chubbies are awesome dudes, and that we've been working with them for a long time. That link's going to be available to you down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. It's also where I got this shirt. Let's go to the next reason here of why Las Vegas is a sleeper team. They improved at the quarterback position. In all honesty, I could have started this show and I go, I believe the Raiders are a sleeper team because we upgraded the head coach and we upgraded at the quarterback position. Those two things alone are going to make most NFL teams out there a lot better. I mean, Geno is the best quarterback that Las Vegas, Oakland, the Silver and Black have had since the 2016 version of Derek Carr. The past quarterbacks we've had the last 2 years, from AOC, Jimmy G. Hoyer, Minshew, and Ritter, going to Geno, I don't think people realize how big of an upgrade that really truly is. And it's not a secret. The NFL is a quarterback-driven league, and when you look at a lot of the teams that made it to the playoffs the past few years, it's because they had a good quarterback and a reliable head coach. We didn't have that, and we haven't had that for an extremely long time. We do finally have that now. If you want to see even more reasons, though, of why I'm so damn confident in Geno Smith, I promise you this. If you watch this video, you're going to go, holy shit, I think Geno Smith is the top 10 quarterback. And I'm not saying that just from a Raiders fan standpoint. The numbers back it up. And if you want somebody that has statistics, that has that numbers never lie mentality, if you watch this video and you don't think Geno Smith can be a top 10 quarterback, you're either a closet 49ers or Chiefs fan, or you just don't want to face the fact that Geno can be that guy. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I think that the Raiders can be a sleeper team, and this is one of the stats that I have in that video. Just a little tease if you want more information like this. The Raiders this season, 12 dome games, 5 outdoor games. Through the course of Geno's career with Pete Carroll, with Seattle, okay? Not with Pete Carroll, with Seattle. 36 starts outdoors, 25 of those at home, 43 touchdowns, 31 interceptions, and a quarterback rating of 89.7. His indoor games, all on the road, 14 starts, 30 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 110.8. Face the facts. I feel like a lot of times we hear like certain running backs, certain wide receivers are better on grass compared to turf just from a speed standpoint. Like I bet you Dante Thornton Jr. is a lot faster on turf compared to grass. Well, here's the thing. When there's no wind, when there's not a lot of other elements, and you have a quarterback that is as accurate as what Geno Smith is, and you take the elements out of it, he's a better QB. It's not rocket science. And then you combine Geno with Chip Kelly, with the players that we have, I'm telling you, go watch that video and you're going to go, yeah, Geno Smith is going to legitimately help out this team a lot, which helps us be a better sleeper team. Let's go to another reason here of why I think that this team is a legit sleeper team. We got young studs, and I think we did a really good job this offseason of marrying our young studs, like a Jackson Powers Johnson, a Max Crosby. I'm still going to call him young. He's 27, 28 years old. Max Crosby, JPJ, Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, right? These are guys that are obsessed with football, and they would give their left nut probably for the game of football, right? And when you have those type of players and you blend that with dudes like a Landon Roberts, you blend it with guys like honestly, Lucky Fotu, from what I've heard, has actually been working his freaking tail off. Alex Kappa has been working his freaking tail off. But when you bring in the compete mentality with a bunch of younger players and you bleed it together, you got guys that are 23, and then you got guys that are 30 that are going out there and they're competing, which makes the overall team a lot better. It also helps then when you get guys like Colt Miller and Jacoby Myers, who won a new contract, who aren't guaranteed anything, and you look at a lot of other situations around the league where those type of players, they're sitting out. They didn't. They showed up to non-mandatory things. Why? It's that Pete Carroll effect, but it's because they also want to be a part of something special, and they see the young talent that we have, and it's legit. Really good young talent. Let's go to the final reason here, and this is just a little one, but, I kind of wanted to throw it in there. The Raiders' schedule. And when you look at the Raiders' schedule, I do think it actually really helps us out in terms of getting the ball rolling. What do I mean by that? I believe that every man, every woman, every person is a lot different at their job, is a lot different at whatever you're setting your mind to when you have confidence in yourself. And I do think that it could be a little bit of a challenge to get the ball rolling because we have a new OC, got a brand new head coach, got a brand new quarterback, a lot of different moving parts. And when you look at this Raiders schedule, it's a lot easier in the early part of the season than it is at the later part of the season. And I like the fact that the Raiders get a little bit of like that buffer time, get a little bit of that time to kind of get their feet wet, get the mojo going on offense and defense, and then they get ready for the gauntlet that is week 10 through week 18. Yeah, you got week 12 against the Browns. Sure, you got week 17 against the Giants, but you know what? What happens if those teams figure it out? What happens if the Giants turn it on? What happens if the Browns have an elite defense? Like, I've watched this game long enough to know that if the Raiders can get their confidence going, and if you can be playing your best brand of football by the end of the year, anything's possible. So I love the fact that we get a little bit of time to kind of figure out who we are. And then right before the week 8 bye, not right before, right after the week 8 bye, you have the NFL trade deadlines right around that time period, which I think is a really good testing spot of, we just played the Kansas City Chiefs. That's going to be a great example of, are we legit or are we not legit? And if we are legit, how do we become even better? And if we're not legit, how do we potentially get better? And then that final week 18 game against Kansas City, if you can beat the Chiefs in week 18, and that game actually matters. I'm not saying they rest their starters. If that game actually matters week 18, you go into the playoffs and you think, I can beat anybody. And with the brand of football that this Raiders team is going to play, a physical FU style of football, people aren't going to want to run into that team in January. And man, I hope also in February. So Rich Eisen, I agree with you. I do think that the Raiders are a legit sleeper team. And I'm okay with the NFL sleeping on us. I'm okay with the NFL not giving us the light of day. You know why? Because we really haven't deserved it. But I hope that this year we go out, we show that we are a legit team, we are a legit franchise. And we might not win a Lombardi now, but I do think that we are moving in the right direction to finally hoist that Lombardi at Allegiant Stadium. All right, y'all, if you're following us and you're watching us live, today is National.
But before we get into that, I did see some haters in the comments section being like, Mitch, the Seahawks traded Geno. There's never been a good quarterback that's been traded. That's never happened, Mitch. There's never been a good quarterback that's been traded from one team and had success with another. I just did a intensive search.
In the last 5 years, somebody just won a Super Bowl.
On Google.
Yeah.
An intensive search.
Google.
John Elway was traded to the Broncos. Brett Favre was traded to the Packers, won a Super Bowl and an MVP there. Joe Montana was traded from the 49ers to the Chiefs and took them to an AFC championship game. Matt Hasselbeck was traded from the Packers to the Seahawks. Shall I go even more just to prove you wrong?
Matt Stafford's the most recent one.
Matt Stafford and Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Were both traded from their respective teams. So if you're sitting there telling me good teams never trade for a quarterback and have any success. You don't know ball. You don't know what you're talking about because we have multiple upon multiple examples
I think
of that same thing happening.
Again, I don't know who's saying it. I would imagine it's not a Raiders fan because to me, I know Rich Gannon is the name that I think of when I think of Geno Smith. Rich Gannon was 34 years old when he joined the Raiders in 1999 and ended up winning the MVP in 2002 at 37 years old. Geno Smith is literally 34 years old, and I think sometimes when you just get into certain situations, it starts to click a little bit.
Kurt Warner from Mike Nasty.
Great example.
I mean, there's so many examples of quarterbacks who have had success after being traded. And people are like, oh, wow, yeah, Elway was traded before he played. Like, he didn't play for the Colts. Brett Favre didn't play for the Falcons.
Didn't win a Super Bowl, but Baker Mayfield, I think, right now might be the perfect example of when you're not in the right system and you're not around the right people, you can really fall apart. But when you do finally find your right home and they believe in you and they allow you to be the player that you are and they build around that, that's special. And I just think, like, Pete knows Geno so well that they're building around Geno's strengths, and I can't wait to see it.
And it's funny enough because the Broncos guy in the chat was one of the people that was saying good quarterbacks never get traded. How about Peyton Manning to your team?
Though, I will say, the Peyton Manning that won the Super Bowl, it's funny. He was not very good at that time, but he was just really able to go out there, execute the offense, and allowed, I think, the Broncos defense at that time.
There was so many hate comments, so much stuff going on during your segment. I had to address it afterwards because my blood was boiling a little bit seeing all these comments of people talking mess about Geno, talking mess about, there's never been a quarterback that's been traded that's been good, Mitch. You're wrong. You're 100% wrong. So now let's talk about Freeze Pops.
All right, let's cool off here a little bit. So today is National Freeze Pop Day, and all I want to know is this. If I were to present you these 6 flavors, colors, however you want to go about it, which one are you taking? Purple, blue, green, orange, red, pink. Let me know down below. I'll tell you which one I'm never picking.
My color might surprise you because I think a lot of people have the same answer to this.
What? Of which one are they picking?
Yeah. And I already see it in the chat.
I know which one I would go with.
It's easily the most popular one. I would say a majority of people first off, and we actually, funny enough, we had a guy in here earlier told us off the rip blue. He said blue, not even close. I like blue.
My favorite color mine has not been picked yet.
Mine has been. I've seen a couple people. My number one choice would be green. I'm a big green apple guy. Love green apple snow cone. Love my favorite color is green. Money, money, money. Dollar, dollar bills, y'all. But I like the green apple flavor. I also am a fan of the blue. What would be your top 3 selections? 1, 2, and 3.
If red is cherry or strawberry, typically that's why I go red, because I saw LA Crash Dog was saying red. I think also Max Santana said the same thing. I like cherry and strawberry, so red actually is my first pick. My number 2 pick would be pink, because it's kind of the same thought process.
Pink lemonade or strawberry.
Pink lemonade.
Yeah.
And then I'd probably go with blue, just for the blue raspberry. The one I'm not picking, like, orange is so far last, it's not even close.
For me, it would be green in order. If I'm ranking all 6 of these, for me personally, my list, it would be green, blue, pink, orange, red, purple.
See, I'd probably put purple to second to last, though sometimes I do really like grape.
I like orange. So I put orange above the red or the purple. So I would go green, blue, pink, orange, red, purple would be my 6.
I guess I would go red, pink, blue, green, purple, orange. Which breaks my heart because I'm from Danville, Pennsylvania, and our colors are orange and purple. So,
sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. Let's see what we got here. Zalesbo's going pink, red, and blue. Mario's going to go with a green. I see blue from Sucker Free. What up, Sucker Free? I should also mention this. We did just get over 100 likes. I wasn't paying attention. So spam your colors down below, and we're going to pick somebody, and we're going to put you in the fantasy football raffle.
Not in this one, but depending on the pack that you get, sometimes you'll get like the clear one that's like the pina colada or like the, pineapple one, I love that flavor too.
See, that reminds me when I was a kid, the number one lollipop that Dum Dum used to make, I don't know if you remember him, like the little rapper, was the clear pina colada one. Obsessed.
Oh, yeah. Because I saw somebody ask, like, how come there's no yellow for lemon? Yeah, you can add a couple more flavors into here depending on what pack you get.
I'll be 100% honest. I picked a photo that I thought clearly represented the colors of the pops. Like,
no, I think this is the base. Like, if you're getting the cheap one, the one that we all nostalgia remember, if you went to any sort of summer camp, if you went to any sort of event, party, whatever, this was the 6-pack that you got.
Yeah, it came in like the one that I used to get
the mesh bags.
I was gonna say it was a mesh bag. You just throw it in the freezer. How would you open the mesh bag? Because this actually reminds me of something my mom used to yell at me for, where like the bag, she was like, open the top. I just split the bag. Like if you open the top, if you open the top of that bag, I don't trust you. Like you rip it open and you're good. You're good to go. Richard Gonzalez also gonna go with red. All right, I'm gonna refresh my phone here real quick.
Because he's spamming it
I got
so much.
Extra people in the duck race.
I'm gonna go with Richard Gonzalez for the free ticket for the fantasy football raffle at the end of the month.
Bruce Bird, you in. Fabian Moreno, you in. Right now we are, as it stands, 360 people watching. 19 likes away from giving away another free raffle entry into our fantasy football league. And before we get into the next segment, I do want to say one more time what the deals on today's show are. $20 Venmo you get in right now for an opportunity to win $60 here on today's show. Sorry, I got the burps going on. Every $100 super chat that we get is a bang. You're entered in our July bang competition, which right now, Cove Utter is the July MVP, which means, Cove, if you end July as the MVP, you're in our fantasy football raffle. But today, whoever the top 2 bangers are, which we have yet to get a single bang, whatever you want to ask Dante Thornton Jr., well, not whatever you want to ask. Please be respectful, but Dante Thornton Jr., we have an interview with him on Thursday, the Raiders' 4th rounder, and I said, because I already know I'm going to get so many people that want to ask him questions, if I could already get people that submit a question today, that way I could ask them to him. And like the way that I would do it, and I saw Fabian Moreno was in here. So Fabian, you've been the MVP last 2 months. Let's say technically Fabian sends in a bang today. When I ask that question to Dante, I'll be, hey, Dante, this one's coming in from Fabian Moreno, longtime watcher, and it's question. Like, I kind of just want to have it set up because in my mind, if I already have it set up, that just means the more questions that I can ask Dante Thornton Jr., which I would say is the most important thing. If I can ask him 13 questions, that's better than 12 questions.
I did think about Cove Utter's question of can he do the milk the cow as his first touchdown celebration.
If we don't get any bangs today,
I will say this, though. It's going to be a tough look for him to have that as his celebration if you don't know what he's doing.
True.
If he just walks out and is just...
See, I think he would need to...
I think
he would need to have somebody like...
Yeah, Colton Miller or Jackson Powers Johnson on all fours. He sits down on somebody else, and he goes like this on their stomach.
Maybe even closer to their chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their teats.
Yeah, maybe even close to their chest. Because if you start doing it near the belly button where the udder actually is, people are going to have questions. Dude, I'll tell you this right now, though. That is an elite that is an elite touchdown celebration.
Milking the cow?
Milking the cow is electric, dude. Who's going to drink it?
You get somebody on all fours, he sits crisscross applesauce.
I would love that. I would lose my flippin' mind if Dante Thornton Jr. ever did that, which I'm going to give Dante a deal. I don't know what the deal is. I got to sneeze. I'm going to give him a deal on Thursday.
Oh, also, on Thursday, quick reminder, we will be donating to Dante Thornton Jr.'s charity as well.
Yeah, so I'll give you guys more information on it. It's called Driven Throughout the Journey, and I'll kind of explain more of what it is, but I'm just going to let all y'all know, Thursday is going to be a big day where we can show Dante a lot of love, but also we're going to raise some money for his charity and, just show him that Raider Nation's got his back. And I get it. These guys make millions of dollars. I hear you loud and clear, but I do think that every penny can help. And I also think that if that little bit of a gesture can help Dante be like, you know what, I do really love Raider fans and I respect it, and he does turn out to be a player that we're hoping that he turns out to be, maybe that's one of those things in the back of his mind where he's like, you know what, I want to be a Raider for life.
Yeah.
And I'll also say this just because I don't know if you guys have been following Dante on social media, but he recently lost his dog, his puppy, and I've often, joked, and it's not even a joke, when my dog Chuck does go, I'm not kidding you, like, I'm going to have to take some serious time off because I freaking love that four-legged dude. But Dante is kind of like, just dealing with a loss of his own, and I get it, it's a dog. But I hope that when people show up on Thursday, just like you always do, you try to put a smile on Thornton's face. And I think that that's one of the coolest things that this YouTube channel does always try to accomplish. David Zahn in the building. Patrick B in the building. 2 Mount Raider More members here in the building. Love the fact that y'all are here, and I greatly appreciate you. Patrick Roche, Stanley Holmes, y'all are in.
And Patrick Roche.
What you got for me?
Jim Plunkett was traded to the Raiders and won a Super Bowl.
Patrick Roche. Patrick, I'm so happy.
People are so quick to forget.
Picture, dude.
People are so quick to forget, Mitch.
I hear you. Before we get into the next segment, if you guys want to get your questions, your comments on the show, obviously you can super chat to get up on the program, but I do at least want to answer some questions from other people that may not have that super chat ability. So I'll say here for the next 5 to 10 minutes, if you use hashtag Raiders, we'll answer some questions, and then after that, we will get into the off-season losers for the Silver and Black. Let's go to Raider Rob, 1969. I heard Shamar Stewart could get traded or released. Would he be a good defensive end addition? Could you imagine Watt and Crosby? Oh, my God, but hell, costs too much. All right, so this is, 2 different questions?
Yeah, I was going to say on the back half, he asked about T.J. Watt.
T.J. Watt's, I'd be shocked if he ended up leaving Pittsburgh. I think that they're going to end up getting a deal done. And I say that because, to me, Pittsburgh is clearly in a Super Bowl win-now mode. You go out and you get Aaron Rodgers. He's kind of already hinted that it's probably going to be his last year. You go out, you trade for a Jonnu Smith. You go out, you trade for a Jalen Ramsey. Yes, you did move on from Minkah Fitzpatrick, but maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers value Jalen and Jonnu a little bit more. And then on top of that, if they're Super Bowl win-now mode, they're going to have to pay T.J. Watt $40 million. In terms of Shamar Stewart, I don't know what this situation is going to unfold. I mean, there's a chance that he could be redrafted next year, which is mind-blowing. I do think Cincinnati ends up getting a deal done because if the Bengals do not get a deal done with Stewart, and if they do not get a deal done with Trey Hendrickson, I know how much money they just spent on offense with Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, and T. Higgins, but if you're totally neglecting your defense, a defense that was probably the worst defense in the NFL last season, I'd say that. They're definitely in the bottom 5. If you're a defensive player, you're going, why would I want to go to Cincinnati? If you're a top player in general, you're going, why would I want to go to the cheapest franchise in the NFL like the Cincinnati Bengals who don't pay their stars? And I get it. They just paid 3 guys a lot of money. But T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow, that's 3 players combined, $666 million. Wild. Let's go to Roche.
Oh, no.
Excuse me.
It's the next one's from Richard Gonzalez.
What up, Richard? Dante Thornton Jr., what does a successful rookie season stat-wise look like? I think that this is twofold, right? And to me, my projection for Thornton, I had it in a video recently. I don't know if you have the graphic for it. I believe I had, it was 42 targets, 23 catches, just over 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. And I believe that came out to 19, 20, or 21 yards per catch. Yeah, this was my 2025 stat projection for Thornton that I did in a recent video. I don't look at it so much as just if he puts up these numbers, I'm going to sit up here and I'm going to go this is a good rookie year because Brock Bowers is going to get his. Michael Mayer is going to get his. Jacoby Myers is going to get his.
Genty
is the big one, though. If Dante Thornton Jr., and I said this the moment that they drafted him, if Genty, when he's playing, is averaging 5.0 yards per carry and the Raiders' offense is clicking when Thornton's on the field because people got to respect that speed and they can't stack the box, and he doesn't catch a single ball. That to me is a successful draft pick and successful
I was going to say
rookie season.
The Raiders offense might be elite this season with Geno having a stat line somewhere around like 26 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
I think that's kind of what you're hoping for.
If he can have something like that where he doesn't turn over the ball, has a decent number of touchdowns, but we get a great ground game from Ashton Genty and Raheem Mostert as a 1-2 punch, I think that's one of the better ways because you want to control the ball.
Yep.
And if you're able to run the ball with Genty, we saw the way the Eagles did it last year with Saquon and Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
If you're able to continue to just move the sticks, take up that time of possession, you can win a lot of games that way.
Chip Kelly is predicated on explosive plays. Geno Smith, literally last season and for the past 3 years, has been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL at explosive plays. That's balls 20 yards down the field. Technically, an explosive play in the NFL is 20 yards down the field. Geno Smith has been one of the best quarterbacks in that. So, if the Raiders' offense is just much more explosive, and even if Dante Thornton doesn't touch the ball, I'm going to look at that and I'm going to go, that's because he's an elite freaking decoy, and that's going to open it up. But stat line, I don't look at it just in stat line. I look at it, what does this Raiders offense look like with Dante Thornton Jr. out there? Let's go to Bridget Rivera. What up, Bridge?
New pick?
Is it?
I think so.
I don't know if it's a new pick. Bridget Rivera, she's an OG. Her husband watches the show all the time, and maybe this is her picture on IG, which is how I recognize it, which I always find it hilarious. Bridget will always send me updates of, her husband, watching the show, and now they watch the show together, which I think is really beautiful.
This is like their Love Island.
Oh, dude, that's a whole nother story. I mean, hopefully we never have to do a recoupling. I love Danny, but I'm not sharing Alex. Is it true that Mark Wahlberg is looking into becoming a part owner of the Raiders like Brady? I saw it somewhere, can't recall where. Yeah, I mean, it's been circulating around social media. I'll say this. I don't know if it's legit or if Wahlberg was just trying to, joke around with Brady, but...
which would be crazy because he's a die-hard Patriots fan.
Yes. He's a die-hard Patriot. I kind of said that from Boston. Die-hard Patriots, die-hard New England guy.
He's a die-hard.
But he did say that he went to 6 Raiders games last season. He just has a really good relationship with Tom Brady. And I think I watched the video. I didn't really get the Mark Wahlberg's going to try to become an owner. I think it was more, well, Tom Brady and I are really good friends. And because Brady and I are good friends and he's a minority owner, can I also get a piece of the pie? That's kind of how I understood it. What up, Roy? How long are the Raiders going to wait until they go out and grab one of the defensive backs?
That's a good question, Roy.
I mean, if it was up to me, you got to talk about Mike Hilton's got to be a name to throw out there. Simmons and Julian Blackmon.
We were actually talking about this amongst the guys in the office just a couple days ago. And, Roy, the thing is, it actually might not come down to the Raiders because a lot of these free agents, they're like, hey, I'm already a free agent. They might have multiple teams interested in them, like a Justin Simmons, a Julian Blackmon.
Yep.
And they might say, hey, I'm going to wait until training camp. One, they can do less. If I told you you can have the job and you can either start today or you can start in 2 months, same difference, same pay. Like, I might take a nice little 2-month break before I get into it. But a lot of these guys actually end up signing in the middle of training camp. We looked it up last year because Justin Simmons was in this same exact spot last year.
Yep.
And we were talking with our Saints guy because the Saints were one of the teams rumored to be in on Justin Simmons last year. We go, hey, do you remember when Justin Simmons signed last year? It was actually the second week of training camp he signed with the Atlanta Falcons.
And I think for a team like the Raiders, they're so confident in their player development, and you should be too, because Carroll has done a great job developing players. Spytek has done a great job developing players. Tom Brady, I get it. He's a minority owner, and he might not have as much influence, but he did a great job of developing players in his own way when he was a member of the New England Patriots. Chip Kelly, same thing. Patrick Graham, same thing. I think the Raiders are so confident in their player development that they want to just see what it looks like at training camp. And before they hit the panic button, they go, hey, man, I can get 2 weeks just to see what training camp looks like. I got a bunch of these younger players that are going to go out there and they're going to compete. And then if those guys are going out there and competing, that's what you want. Because what you don't want is a Justin Simmons to come in and everybody's going to go, oh, that's Simmons' job. It probably would end up being Simmons' job. But you want Isaiah Paul-Amal and you want Jeremy Chinn to show, hey, I do deserve this job. You want Thomas Harper, Lonnie Johnson, Trey Taylor to try to go out there and step it up a little bit. So I think for the Raiders, they're going to take it with the let's see what happens approach. And then if they like what they see, maybe they don't go out and address it. If they don't like what they see, they will. And I think they literally did that with Jermaine Pratt recently where, they wanted to see what they had in that linebacker room. They signed a Jalen Smith. They brought in Michael Barrett, the old linebacker from Michigan. They ended up cutting Amari Burney, and they were just trying to mix and match and see what they got. They said, you know what? I think that this room can get better. They went out and they got Jermaine Pratt. I think they're going to do the exact same thing for the DBs, for the safeties in training camp. But I agree. If it was up to me, we would have gone out. We would have made at least a move on a dude sooner. But like Jeremy said, if Justin Simmons is going, why do I have to show up to training camp when I can just sign 2 weeks after training camp? I think the other thing that people honestly do, and I mean this, is they wait for injuries to happen. And it is a part of the NFL thing. Like, it's part of sports in general. But right now, after free agency, after the draft, after OTAs, after minicamp, teams at least have somewhat of an idea of what they're going to be going to war with. Every year, training camp injuries happen. Every year, preseason injuries happen. And if there's a team that doesn't have a need at free safety, but they're a Super Bowl caliber team, God forbid they lose a safety. Like, to me, like the Baltimore Ravens just lost Ardarius Washington. If that were to happen in August, Justin Simmons could go, well, hey, now I know that y'all need me, and now his price tag goes up a little bit. Where right now, a lot of those free agents, their price tag is probably as low as it's going to be. That's kind of how I would look at it.
All right, coming up next, off-season losers. We already did the winners yesterday. Now, the losers. But I actually have a game, Mitch.
Uh-oh.
I have a game.
Oh, boy.
We hit 200 likes.
Okay.
So we're going to give away some more fantasy football raffle tickets for the end of the month.
Love it.
But I have a fun game, and I want to see if anybody can get it.
Okay.
Me and Mitch are high school mascots. I don't know the last time we've talked about it or even said it on the show. Okay. During this next segment, if anybody can either name my high school mascot or Mitch's high school mascot in the chat, we'll give you a free ticket during this whole next segment. So if you remember, if you can name it, my high school mascot or Mitch's high school mascot. If you want to slack me yours, I think I remember. Yours is weird.
You can't Google it. If you Google it,
I don't even know if they would be able to Google yours.
Yeah, maybe not.
They'd have to know what high school you go to or you went to.
I got you.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and guess it, and we'll run it through. I'll tell y'all at the very end of this next segment, Raiders offseason losers. And before we get into that, a quick message from our presenting sponsor, Patrick Roche Bank!
From the top, Roche! Which player currently on the roster does Dante think will have the biggest breakout season? So you know what, Patrick?
We'll ask this to Dante on Thursday.
Though I do think we're going to take out the first which player currently on the roster.
Yeah. Well, we'll do some editing for you.
We got you, Patrick. So literally what'll happen, Patrick, is on Thursday, if you're a top two banger today, we'll literally put this question up on the screen. And, if Thornton's watching the show with him, he'll be able to, see it. But I'll just also ask him. I'll be like, all right, man, we just got this one coming in from Patrick Roche. Which player on the roster do you think is going to have a breakout season? And that's how I'll ask him.
Some of these mascots are wild.
The sea snakes.
Platypuses.
The beer-drinking Hellraisers.
Could you imagine high school? High school team name.
The Twinkie Sparklers.
Yes.
I'll tell you this. That is actually a scary name. Would you rather go up? A Twinkie Sparkler, I'm thinking anything's possible. Spartans, Dolphin, Platypus. I'll tell you this. I don't know if I've seen mine yet.
I've seen mine once. I'll tell you who gets the free ticket afterwards, I have yet to see yours.
I'm pretty sure I know yours. I'm going to be honest. I'm pretty sure I know yours. See, here's the thing. It's got to be exact. For me, I think it has to be exact. And I have yet to see it exact.
All right.
I have yet to see it exact.
All right. We ready to go? Quick reminder, this is a cold open.
Yep, okay. I got you. All right, y'all. Next segment coming up here is going to be Raiders off-season losers. So please just keep that in mind. If you don't know, we're going to be interviewing Raiders rookie Dante Thornton Jr. Thursday, July 10th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure your notifications are turned on. He's going to be answering questions from the nation and myself for about 30 minutes, so I do really hope that you end up pulling up here, showing him some love. We're also going to be donating to his charity, Driven Throughout the Journey. If you don't tune in, honestly, I think you're an off-season loser. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz, your host of the Raiders Report, and coming up on today's show, we're going to be looking at some off-season losers before training camp, and I have them ranked from 10 all the way down to 1. 1 is the biggest loser from this offseason. Now, if you haven't already seen the video that I did on the offseason winners, I hope that you go please check that bad boy out. Speaking of losers, we're losing right now to our Seahawks channel here at Chat Sports. We're down by about 20 subs. Since the Raiders played Seattle in that first preseason game, and since Pete Carroll and Geno Smith came from that regime, I'm battling the Seahawks today, fam over there, and I do not want to lose to them. So if you are not already subscribed, if Dante Thornton Jr. is not going to get it done, and if us losing's not going to get it done, I don't know if you even bleed silver and black. Let's go from 10. Let's work our way down to 1. Coming in here at number 10 as losers before training camp, I'm going to put wide receiver Jack Bech on this list. Let me be very clear. This is not due to the play of Bech. I've actually heard nothing but good things in terms of how he has looked this offseason. But the part of doing this show to me today was also about what has happened to the player from the beginning of them joining this team. And when the Raiders drafted Bech in round 2, I had a lot of hope that he was going to be a starter. I think a lot of you were thinking, all right, this is going to be a starter next to Bowers, next to Jacoby Myers, and he's going to be above, somebody like Dante Thornton Jr. I would say right now, if the season started, it's Jacoby Myers, and then your two outside guys are Trey Tucker and Thornton, and obviously Brock Bowers is going to be a part of that equation as well at tight end. But Bech has looked solid, and he's been a good player, and he's a reliable player. But because he has fallen down the depth chart a little bit, for that reason and that reason alone, I am going to list him as a loser. I do want to be very clear, though. I know that he technically hasn't signed his contract yet, and most second-rounders haven't because you can blame the Texans and that one. I forget the other team, too. And the Browns with Carson Swessinger and Jaden Higgins. They got guaranteed deals, but Jack Bech falling is only because Trey Tucker and Dante Thornton Jr. went up the list. Let's go to number 9 here next for our losers before training camp. And I'm going to say Jacorian Bennett. And it's kind of the exact same thing that I echoed with Bech earlier. I haven't heard anything bad necessarily about Jacorian. It's just, I would say that he was the best corner that we had on this team last season. He was better than Nate Hobbs. Let me be very clear. Jacorian Bennett was better than Nate Hobbs last season. And I think the stats absolutely prove that. He was light years better than Jack Jones. So if you would have told me the cornerback that was the best guy on our team and we moved on from the two other guys, I would sit up here and say that's a dude that's going to start. The problem is, I don't know if he is going to start right now. Eric Stokes, Darian Porter have been working with the ones, and they're also a part of this brand new regime where Bennett's a part of the old regime. And Pete Carroll knows what he looks for in a corner. And the fact that Pete Carroll is looking for a long, lanky corner, super athletic, which is exactly what Bennett is, and he's not working with the ones, maybe that's just because Pete has his eyes set on Stokes and Porter. But I do know that he's been dealing with some injuries. He's had dislocated shoulders. He's had a whole bunch of shoulder injuries. He says he's healthy. He's moving in the right direction. But because he took it a little bit slow this offseason, I'm going to put him in here as a loser. Let's go to number 8 here, linebacker Devin White. And when the Raiders signed White to a one-year, $1.2 million deal this offseason, I did not love it. And I still don't know if I love it. If Devin White's going to go out there and they're going to use him as a 3-down linebacker, you're not going to like the way you look, I guarantee it. If you let him be an athlete and let him be a little bit more of like an edge and just get after the quarterback on 3rd down, that's the Devin White role that he needs to play. The Raiders gave Landon Roberts and Jermaine Pratt, more money. Again, White, $1.2 million. Landon Roberts got $3 million. Jermaine Pratt got a little over $4 million. Money talks in the NFL. So the fact that Pratt and Roberts are going to be your top two linebackers, that moves Devin White down a little bit. And then you got a young seventh rounder in Cody Lindenberg. But it's the coverage ability of Amari Gaynor, which I think might take White off the field a little bit more often than not. For all those reasons, I put him as a loser. So I got to know, though, from the nation, this is going to be the pinned comment here on today's show. I believe Landon Roberts and Jermaine Pratt are the top two linebackers for the Silver and Black. But I want to know from all of you, who's the third best guy on this team? Is it Amari Gaynor? Is it Tommy Eichenberg? Is it Devin White? Is it somebody else? Please let me know. My answer coming up here after this YouTube ad break. I'm going to sit up here and I might give you guys an answer that you might not expect. I'm hoping it's Amari Gaynor, and I think it's going to be Amari Gaynor because of his coverage ability. Watch out, though, for Cody Lindenberg. They gave him a green dot, and they have a lot of confidence in that young man. Coming up here, number 7 on the list of my losers before training camp, I'm going to throw in Jordan Meredith at number 7. And I like Jordan Meredith a lot, and I think he's one of the more underappreciated players that we have on this roster. But Meredith was competing for a starting job earlier this offseason. There was a lot of speculation. Could he play right guard? Could he play left guard? And there was a lot of, hope and wonder if he could be the starting left guard. From what it sounds like, Parham starting left guard, Alex Kappa starting right guard. And the Raiders went out and got Kappa to just add a little bit more competition to that guard room. Where I really put Meredith and why I did really honestly put him as a loser is because the way that the Raiders were using Thayer Munford at the end of minicamp and OTAs, where Munford was used as the backup left guard because Parham ended up missing a few practices, and Munford was the guy that they ended up slotting in at left guard. My point is, if Meredith was going to get an opportunity to play, if he's behind Kappa and behind Parham, that gives him a better opportunity to get on the field. If he's behind Jackson Powers-Johnson, which right now, based on people that I talked to, Meredith has been working, still as a backup guard, but as kind of like that insurance policy at center, he's never going to play over Jackson Powers-Johnson, right? And it's kind of the same thing of, we have a great tight end in Brock Bowers, and it's no disrespect to Michael Mayer, but Brock Bowers is just that number 1. And it's no disrespect to Jordan Meredith, but JPJ is that number 1. Coming in here at number 6, we're going to go wide receiver Kyle Phillips. And early this offseason, Phillips was signed by Las Vegas, and it was one of the very first moves that the Raiders ended up making. Phillips was the first ever recruit by Chip Kelly at UCLA, and I was told by a good source, again, we're talking about probably back in March at this point, February, that Phillips was a sneaky guy to make this roster because of the little things that he was able to do, but also sure-handed receiver, and that was really important to Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll in this entire offense. But the Raiders went out and they drafted 3 wide receivers. And Tommy Mellott has been really impressive on special teams. Dante Thornton Jr. and Jack Besh have been really solid. Trey Tucker has taken a step forward. To me, though, because Tucker has taken that step and the Raiders are just so confident in Jacoby, Trey, Dante, Mellott, and also Jack Besh, I don't know if the Silver and Black end up keeping a 6 wide receiver. And because of that, I'm going to say Phillips is on the outside looking in, which makes him a loser. Before we get into our top off-season losers here by the Las Vegas Raiders, I don't know about y'all, skies out, thighs out. I'm all about the Chubbies game. And if you haven't already taken advantage of this deal, well, listen the hell up. Summer's here, y'all, which means it's officially time to let the dogs out. And you might be singing, who let the dogs out? I'm trying to let the dogs out. Because if your pups have been stuck in jeans or sweats for the last few months, set them free with the Line Swim collection from Chubbies. Whether you're poolside, lakeside, or oceanside on that long-awaited vacation, I know I'm ready for mine. These trunks are ready to travel. Life's too short for uncomfortable swim trunks. So these babies are set up for all-day comfort with a quick, dry stretch fabric and a built-in liner that actually does its job. No more chafing, no more soggy butt, no more mesh disasters. And when the sun goes down and you're heading to the beach to dinner, swap into a pair of Everywhere shorts. They fit right, feel right, and go with everything. And after wearing them once, you'll find yourself wondering, why did I even wear other shorts? So whether you're suiting up for cannonballs, a cookout, or a casual Friday, or who knows, maybe even a crazy Raiders live show, Chubbies has you covered. And for a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners 20% off your order with our code CHAT at chubbyshorts.com. That's code CHAT, C-H-A-T, at chubbyshorts.com. support the Raiders Report. Tell them that we sent you because summer's here. Dress like it in Chubbies. And again, this link for all y'all is going to be down in the comments. It's going to be in the description of today's show. I'll also mention that this shirt is from Chubbies, and if you want it, you can also get your hands on it, though that discount does not count for this shirt here. I will be very clear. But appreciate all y'all who always tune in, and I'll always say this. If you're somebody that likes to support a company of just good people, I've been a part of the Chubbies brand, if you will, since 2018, 2017 when they were sponsoring us way in the back of the old G Chat Sports days. I love the people that run Chubbies. I think that they fit just like the type of people Chuggs and I are, and those are the type of companies that I like to support. Let's go to number 5 here. It's going to be Dylan Laube at the running back position, and he was drafted in the 6th round last year by this previous regime. The problem is, though, I don't even know if he's going to make this roster, and the Raiders drafted Genty, number 6 overall. They signed Raheem Mostert to a cheap deal who's got a connection to Chip Kelly. But the problem with Laube is he's not going to get opportunities in the running game. Like, if the Raiders decide to hand Dylan Laube the ball instead of Mostert or Ashton Genty, I'm going, why the hell do we let Luke Getsy run this offense again? But where I thought that Laube was going to have an opportunity to shine this year, or at least get an opportunity to shine, was going to be right when for special teams. And Tommy Mellott has really stepped up, and he's showing the Raiders that, hey, I can be that special teams guy. Trey Tucker, I don't know if he's going to get as much special teams work because of how much he has stepped up in the receiving game. But if Laube's not getting special teams reps, I don't really see how or when he's going to be able to step onto the field. And the Raiders want guys that hang on to the football, that secure it, don't put the ball on the ground. Laube had a lot of issues with that last season. So, old regime replaced by Tommy Mellott. Unfortunately, I think that makes Laube a loser. Let's go to number 4 here. It's going to be Darnay Holmes at cornerback. Right now, probably listed as the Raiders' top nickel, but Patrick Graham has ties with Holmes. And the reason why Darnay Holmes joined the Raiders last season is because he had ties with PG back in their days with the New York Giants. The fact that Patrick Graham has been using a rotation at nickel and he has the connection with Darnay Holmes tells me almost everything that I need to know about where they think about Holmes playing nickel. Thomas Harper has been getting more reps at that top nickel position than Holmes. So, therefore, that kind of bumps him down a little bit. I also know the Raiders are going to use a bunch of different safeties. They're going to use a bunch of different looks, I think, to replace that nickel safety position. Isaiah Paul-Amal would step up last season playing the nickel. You're going to see, I think, Jeremy Chinn do the exact same thing. I think you're going to see Thomas Harper step up, Lonnie Johnson Jr. step up. And because all these players are above Holmes, I don't know if he's even going to make the roster. And because he was somebody that I thought could potentially start, I'm going to label him as a loser. Let's go to number 3 here. It's going to be Trey Taylor at safety. The former Jim Thorpe Award winner, drafted in the 7th round. And because he's on the roster bubble, that unfortunately makes him a loser. I like Trey Taylor. I like his skill set, and I do think he's going to end up making an NFL roster, and he's probably going to be one of those players a few years down the road where we're like, man, if the Raiders would have kept him, he could have been a reliable special teams player on the back end. But the Las Vegas Raiders re-signed Isaiah Paul-Amal very quickly this offseason. I actually think it might have been their very first move that they did during free agency. They gave him a 2-year, $8.5 million deal. Thomas Harper is above him on the depth chart. You signed Lonnie Johnson. You brought in Jeremy Chinn. I look at this Raiders secondary, and I think that they're going to keep 4, maybe 5 safeties. Chinn, Paul-Amal are locks. Lonnie Johnson Jr. is a lock. If they decide to keep another one, is it going to be Harper? Is it going to be Taylor? I'm telling you this. Thomas Harper is above Taylor. If they keep 5 safeties, Taylor's got a shot. If not, I don't really think that he's going to have a shot to make this team. Before I reveal my top 2 biggest losers from this Raiders offseason, I hope that you guys go check out this video, my offseason winners, which, not going to lie, I enjoy doing these a lot more, but I always try to be very transparent. I was talking to a former Raiders player literally just the other day, and he was like, I appreciate your honesty, even though, the fact that I'm sure there's going to be Raiders guys that watch this like, this son of a gun's naming me a loser. Well, how about this? Concentrate on the winners if you don't want to watch the losers. But if you made it this far in the video, hey, go check this one out. It's down in the comments, down in the description. Let's go to number 2 here on my losers before training camp. Linebacker Tommy Eichenberg. And I like Eichenberg, and I feel like I've said I like this player, and then I just fill in a bunch of buts afterwards. Drafted in the 5th round, and another dude that finds himself on the roster bubble, previous regime. The Raiders went out and they signed Jermaine Pratt. They went out, they signed Landon Roberts. They They went out, they signed Devin White. They drafted Cody Lindenberg, who was kind of the backup to Roberts and was given the responsibility of giving the green dot. The biggest thing that I've heard about my concern for Eichenberg, I've actually heard some good stuff about Eichenberg this offseason. I'm not going to lie to you. There was a few practices where I was told he was one of the biggest winners. But the thing that really set me off where I was like, if they're giving the green dot to Cody Lindenberg, who's going to play that Eichenberg middle linebacker role, I think that tells me what they view like Eichenberg, and I think it tells me how they view Lindenberg. They also showed you that they're not afraid to move on from a previous linebacker that was a part of an old regime, like Amari Burney. But to me, the biggest loser heading into training camp for the Las Vegas Raiders, and I mean this because it's not close at all, it's got to be Christian Wilkins, the Raiders' defensive tackle. This contract might go down in the books as one of the worst contracts the Raiders have ever given out, and I hope that I am wrong in saying that. I hope that I get absolutely positively clowned all season long because I mean this. There is nothing that would make me happier than Christian Wilkins giving me a big old FU, going out there and having an all-pro type of season. Nothing would make me happier. But I was told that he needs a second surgery. I was told that his 2025 season is up in the air. I was told that the Raiders want him to get the second surgery. Wilkins doesn't want to have it, and he's been in and out of this walking boot, and it's just a very confusing situation. Hell, a few months ago, Pete Carroll said it's going to be a long process, and you could tell even in Pete's answer that it is going to be a long and grueling process. But when the Raiders brought in Wilkins, they gave him $27 million a year. The expectation was that he was going to be that solid defensive tackle that makes Tyree Wilson better, Malcolm Kuntz better, Max Crosby better, and be that big-time focal point on that defensive line to help us forget that we didn't take Jalen Carter, right? My point is this. I know that Christian Wilkins, when fully healthy, can be an absolute menace on the defensive line, and he's a stud. But right now, I'm concerned that we're not going to get 100% healthy Wilkins. And I'm concerned that the next time that you're going to see Wilkins out on the field, the Raiders are going to be paying him $37 million, which is what he makes in 2026. And in 2027, he's making $33 million. But because of what the expectation is with Wilkins and because of all the uncertainty, I have Christian Wilkins as the biggest offseason loser for the Las Vegas Raiders. If you want more in depth of the Wilkins injury, you can go check out this video. It's going to be down in the comments and description of today's show, just to get a little bit more information of what exactly Wilkins is dealing with. So one more time here, if you haven't already, take a screenshot of this and make sure you tag me on IG. Make sure you tag me on Twitter. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365 for some of the Raiders offseason losers. And if you disagree with me, don't be afraid to yell at me. And my standpoint, if you made it this far in the video and you want to yell at me, I am more than happy to at least see what you have to say. But hey, at the end of the day, I think the Raiders are getting better, and because the Raiders are getting better, certain names that maybe you did not expect to see are on this list. All right, y'all, so please go down in the comments section. Who do y'all think is the biggest Raiders offseason loser so far? Also, did you see any answers?
So, the funny thing is...
Because here's the thing. I have yet to see my mascot.
No,
people think that they have it right.
I did. A couple people were smart and they changed it up. The funny thing is, only one person got my mascot because everybody was focused on yours.
Okay.
One person came in, and I'm not going to say they looked up or cheated, but
Steel corn is
I do think a couple people looked it up and were able to kind of pull the pieces together from watching the show. But the only people, because what you're putting right now, DJ Scrappy and Richard, is wrong.
It's wrong.
It's Iron Men, which a couple people did switch it to that. The people who got that was Lewis Dixon, Richard Gonzalez, Wolverine 209, DJ Scrappy, Brian Baca, and A Radar. Those people eventually switched it to Iron Men, which then got you the correct answer. Only one person got mine.
Can I guess?
Correct.
Yours?
Only one person, and it's 10 times easier than Mitch's.
Is it an animal?
Yes.
Is it technically a rival of the Raiders? Different version?
I would not say it's, like right now in the NFL, I wouldn't say it's like a big rival for the Raiders.
See, I was going to say Mustangs.
No.
See, I don't know.
Funny enough, that's actually Danny's high school mascot.
Okay, I was going to say, I don't know why, but the very first thing that popped in my mind, Mustangs.
It is, It is an animal, and it is a team that's in the NFL. And we actually, funny enough, had to change my senior year. We had to change our logo because we got copyrighted by the NFL because we just used that team's logo, and they got mad.
I know it now. I think, are they in the NFC?
Yes.
Is one of their colors, primary colors, black?
Yes.
All right, yeah, I know.
Only one person got it right because everybody was focused on trying to get yours. Nobody else got mine right.
Telling that story now. I don't know what show it was that you told that story, but I remember it now. Eagles? No.
Nope.
His gamer tag is Jew Eagle, which maybe has confused you.
Yes, Captain Steve Porch. My high school mascot was the Falcons, and only one person, Lance Smith, got that correct at the beginning. Everybody just totally ditched guessing the mascot names, and then everybody was just Iron Man, Iron Man, Iron Man, Iron Man the entire time.
Yeah.
And then a couple people switched it to Iron Men, and then those same people who were spamming Iron Man sent in a couple that said Iron Men.
Just in case.
Just to cover their bases.
Uh-huh.
But
I respect it. I would have done the same thing.
I was amazed that only one person got mine because I thought multiple people. There's so many high schools that have Falcons as the mascot.
Oh, yeah. I can remember, actually, I went to college with a kid, and their high school also got sued by the Patriots because they were the Somerset Patriots. I don't know if anybody lives in New Jersey, but the Somerset Patriots.
And they had to change their logo.
Yep. And I mean, it was like that.
Ours was the exact Falcons logo, except instead of black and red, we were basically the Patriots colors. We were like navy blue and red.
Okay. Yeah, we were orange and purple, Clemson colors.
Our you can look it up. Clear Lake Falcons. Our jerseys were red, white, and blue. Like they were like American colors.
I wonder if I have a picture of me though. That's a really old photo. Holy cow.
What?
There's a photo of me playing American Legion baseball way back in the day.
Locho, funny enough, I was actually looking for you to comment again. You typed in Iron Man, not Iron Men, Locho. You typed in Iron Man.
Yeah, if I type in Mitchell Renz Danville Ironman, I don't get any pictures of me in my high school uniform. I played baseball, though I hate now my baseball number. Like
there are some crazy high school mascots though, because I used to cover high school football in Texas. There is a team that's the Kangaroos, the Weatherford Kangaroos. There's a team that's the Stingrays. Galveston is the Hurricanes, which, I mean, if you're on the coast and your name's, it seems like you're almost like tempting it at that point. But there's a bunch of funny ones. There's a Zebras in Texas. I know there's a Hippos as well.
What was y'all's mascot name? Now I'm kind of curious. The Banana Slugs is also a thing. Do you know that college, the Banana Slugs?
I do not know the Banana Slugs.
Do you remember what college was the Dirtbags?
I just remember that one that you sent me, which I don't know if I'm allowed to say on here.
Scrody.
The Scrody.
Scrody McNutt. It's the something North Carolina School of Art. Their mascot is literally, I'll just say it out loud, it's a penis with blue balls. I mean, it's his nickname is Scrody. It's the most unbelievable mascot I've ever seen. Long Beach Baseball School, the Dirtbags. They were really popular a few years ago because I believe one of their pitchers was on the cover of a video game a few years ago. All right, y'all, final chance to get in.
If you had to guess what was the most common height, which, thank you, I didn't realize my mic was a little too loud. That might be better for y'all. They were like, Chuggs, you're screaming. If you had to guess what was the most common high school mascot in the United States, what do you think that mascot would be?
My first guess is like Wildcats.
Yes, I immediately went Wildcats. I don't know if it's because of
High School Musical.
I don't know if it's because of High School Musical or not.
I've actually never seen High School Musical.
Marsh, what do you think the most common high school mascot is? D's? Dude.
I mean, think about that, though. If you were the Danville D's, I think that's electric, dude.
Marshall.
The Danville D's.
Funny enough, for all you basketball heads in there, Marshall went to school with the Harrison twins, Kentucky basketball legends, the Harrison twins.
Coop also went, what, Marcus Smart?
Yeah, he played with, or he went to, I'm not going to say he played with. He went to school with Marcus Smart.
I was going to say.
I don't know how much playing he did with Marcus Smart, but we said Wildcats.
Tigers is a great guess.
I don't know if it is, but
I was going to say.
I can probably look it up.
Most common high school. All right. All right. Top 3 answers. The most common high school mascots are.
Tigers and Bulldogs. I feel like
He's got 2 out of the 3.
Tigers and Bulldogs.
I just looked it up. Tigers, Bulldogs are in the top 3.
Is Wildcats the other one?
No.
that's not
Can you
Really?
name? Can you? Oh, well, actually, other popular choices include Lions, Panthers, Wildcats. But according to AI, the top 3 Tigers, Bulldogs. This other team name
Is it number
is
1?
in the NFL. Also Eagles.
Eagles.
I know high school ball.
He knows high schools.
Marsh also covered
High
a little bit of high school
school balls.
football. Do you remember?
Chuggs didn't like that one.
Do you remember the? But also the thing that always gets me with that is, are we including like golden eagles and like other forms of eagles into that? Yes. You covered high school football. What was the craziest mascot that you could remember covering or seeing like that was different? The Skeeters? What high school is the Skeeters?
All right, here we go. This is actually incredible. So this is a database of high school, college, and professional sports. There are 1,333 teams that have Eagle as their mascot. Tigers, second.
Technically UNT.
Panthers, third. Bulldogs, fourth. Fifth is an NBA team.
Warriors?
Warriors.
Yeah.
Wildcats, Lions, Cougars, Knights, Mustangs.
That's Teja's favorite team.
I'll see how far Ironman is.
Cougars.
What's actually incredible is I'm going down to the very, very bottom of this list. Dude, there's some crazy names on here. Texans is 10 times. What about, I bet your Raiders is probably pretty popular.
Yeah, I know there's a couple Raiders.
The Fighting Irish, only 4. See, this can't be right. All right. I think everything that I have in this list, throw it out the window.
Jersey boy, what are some prospects you hope the Raiders draft next year? I'm hoping for someone like Caden Proctor or a Jalen Kilgore.
I'll be very transparent. I have yet to do any homework at all.
I think this was
The safety, though, from Ohio State.
Caleb Ransom or Ranson.
No. Caleb Downs?
Caleb, yeah.
Caleb Downs, just based on what the Raiders have a need right now and that connection to Chip Kelly, though, was Downs was at Ohio State last year. He was at, Bama the year before. I would say right now, again, people are going to say Arch Manning, all this. The Raiders aren't going to get another quarterback. If we're not solid and Downs is a player that I think goes in the top 10, obviously I don't want to be in the top 10, but just players that I respect their game a lot, Caleb Downs will be a guy that I'll throw out there just because, again, it's a huge need for us at safety.
All right, last chance to get in is I do think we have to do some finishing up.
Yep. I got you. Sean Irish, I see you, and you are in right now as it stands. We are a $20 Venmo. You would go home with $100. Also, since Patrick Roche is the only one to bang today, Patrick, right now you would get the question for Dante Thornton Jr. on Thursday, which we'll just restructure your question a little bit. And we'll basically just ask him, which player do you think ends up breaking out from Patrick Roche? So if technically we got another bang, we would ask your question to Dante Thornton Jr. if you are interested.
All
I'll
right.
throw it out there. Are you in that doc? Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
All right.
I'm going to refresh one more time on Venmo. Can you add Yoda Jenkins?
Yup.
Yoda Jenkins, I got you.
All right.
Oh! Rebel Montana! Bang! Rebel Montana. Not over yet. Reb, let me know what question you want me to ask Dante Thornton Jr. What's going to get interesting is if somebody else bangs. Then we're in a little bit of a pickle here. But if y'all are good with Patrick Roche and Rebel Montana, I'm good with them as well.
Nobody else got in, though, for the race?
I will look in uno minuto. Quick refresh. Nobody else is in. Nobody else is in. Also, I realize I have over 1,000 friends on Venmo.
So cool.
That's honestly more than I have on Facebook. Here we go. Winners going home with $110.
Rebel, do you
here
want
on
the
the
question
program.
that you asked at the beginning of the show?
Which one?
At the beginning of the show, he asked, Whataburger or In-N-Out? Is that the question you want us to put in?
I mean,
Oh, Rick Kelly says he just sent one in. If you sent it in already, we'll just go ahead and send it back to you, Rick.
yeah, sorry, Rick. It's actually Richard Kelly, I believe, is the one that I didn't get. That's on me, Rich. That's on me, baby. My bad. Rich, I just sent you the $20 back. If you could please confirm that you got it. That's on me. 12 seconds to go. Patrick Roche with the lead. Brian Backa, Mr. Irish. Oh, my God. Who is this? Victor
Lobos
with the win.
I don't see it to me, though.
A what?
Rebel said he sent on IG. Like, he sent me a message.
Uh-huh.
I don't see it, though, Rebel. Was it to Mitch or to me?
Also, I think my Venmo kind of glitched out there for a second, and I don't know if it's my internet or what, but I also just saw Richard Engel. I missed yours, so that's on me. Richard, I just sent you your money back, and then I saw another one that literally just came in, so that's on you, Jaime. Too late. So Jaime Keys, I saw you just sent me a 20. I'll send that back. But Jaime, Richard Engel, and Richard Kelly, I sent y'all your $20 back. That's on me. All right, so the winner of this race, Victor Lobos, and he just got $110. Victor Lobos, if you could please confirm in the chat below that you just received $110, that would be great. Rick said, I got the memo back. Good. Sorry, again, that's on me. Sometimes, I'll refresh my phone, and sometimes it just doesn't load right away. It also could have been because I had 3 Richards right in a row, and sometimes I skip over it. So always hold me accountable. I'll always try to, show you guys that I am flexible.
And then, of course, wouldn't expect it from anybody else. Buddy Bear.
Now we get discounts at Amazon. Enjoy, Nation. Buddy Bear, never change, dude. I mean this, bro. You have one of the best personalities of somebody that watches this show, and I know that you're never afraid to be your true self. You make people laugh not only here at the Raiders Report, but a lot of other chat sports channels out there, and I don't know if there's anybody on the planet that's in more chat sports Hall of Fames than Lord frickin' Buddy Bear. So,
And
Buddy
because
Bear,
of that,
shout out to you, brother.
this is how I want to end the show. Give a shout out to that special Raiders fan in your life, your significant other, maybe one of your best friends, somebody in the chat. I don't care who it is. Get in the chat right now. Send some good vibes, some good Raider vibes to any Raider fan that you know that you want to give a special shout out to. We saw Buddy Bear in here. We've seen a couple Mount Raider guys in here. A lot of real ones. Rebel Montana. Give some shout-outs to some real ones in the chat. As me and Mitch, we got a couple things we got to take care of outside, so we're about to let y'all go. But I think this is a good way to end the show today.
I agree. Also, I've been trying to get a hold of this. Rebel, I just went on our DMs on IG. I don't see the
I think he said he's going to send it later.
Oh, okay. All good. Also, John Fallon, I did receive the jersey that you sent me. And, John, I don't know if you're here. I was trying to figure out who sent me the jersey. I know that you put everything on the package, but when I opened up the package, the front of it ripped. So all I could see that it was from John. But Rebel sent me a DM that was like, hey, John Fallon wanted to make sure that you received the package. So, John, I don't know if you're here or not. Next time I see you in the chat, I'll make sure that I definitely let you know that I did end up getting your package. But appreciate all y'all tuning in. Seriously, I mean this. Make sure y'all pull up on Thursday for Dante Thornton Jr. We are so close to getting out of this dry spell that is the off season. Training camp is right around the corner. I can't wait for this football season. But I mean this from the bottom of my heart. The people that still are tuning into the show on July 8th, I greatly appreciate you. And as long as y'all keep tuning in, we're going to keep on providing the content. From me, Jeremy Chuggs, I'll see you guys Thursday with Dante Thornton Jr., 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. Peace out.